Douglas Lilburn, often hailed as the father of New Zealand composition, delivered a controversial speech titled A Search for Tradition in 1946. We'll discuss the polarized reactions to this speech by Callum Blackmore and Roger Horrocks, concluding with our own perspective. In a recent article named Echoes of Erefon, Blackmore argues that Lilburn's early pastoral music idealizes New Zealand as a colonial paradise, ignoring its tangata whenua and the impacts of colonization. Lilburn claims that New Zealand has no folk song, despite the established presence of Maori traditions and the musical influences, mainly Scottish, on Lilburn's own childhood. Meanwhile, Peter Walls criticizes Lilburn for overemphasizing natural landscapes in shaping New Zealanders' identity. Overall, these criticisms center on Lilburn's colonial influences, which underlie his vision for New Zealand's national music and his take on pastoralism. Unlike Blackmore, who views Lilburn's perspective negatively, Roger Horrocks acknowledges historical context and argues that Lilburn's ideas, though dated, were benign and can be modernized. Lilburn's intention was to stir life into New Zealand's music scene, to improve education and professional opportunities, and to start young composers on the path to finding a national identity. His views were shaped by contemporaries like Vaughan Williams and Percy Grainger, with similar sentiments expressed as early as the 1890s. Since then, many musicologists have pointed out the impossibility of creating a national music here, but Horrocks claims that we should instead adapt the idea to a modern context. He does not, however, specify how. We should also note that Lilburn's views evolved by the 1960s, and considering that his earlier perspective wasn't unique, it's unfair for him to bear all the criticism. Neither view seems flawless or comprehensive. First, Blackmore largely neglects Lilburn's historical context. At the time, tension between settlers' reliance on familiar cultural practices and their new identity resulted in music remaining tied to European traditions despite local themes. Works like Rangariri Galop and Waikato Waltz are clear precursors to overture Aotearoa. Glenda Keam notes that Lilburn's 1946 speech must be understood within post-World War II nation building, where landscape symbolism was significant. Meanwhile, Horrocks avoids the clash between Lilburn's romantic nationalism and today's globalist ethos. Although the speech was early in his career, Lilburn did little to integrate Maori musical traditions into his later works. This raises the question, can music be truly New Zealand without Maori cultural inclusion? Regardless, Lilburn's perspective as a Pākehā in the 1940s contrasts significantly with today's views, and is essential to consider cultural and historical context.